Greetings, folks, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Coco Smooth, the casual collector. And in this segment of 112 scale military action figures takes, I will be doing my first official deep dive comparison and contrast between Valaverse Action Force Infantry Commando and the G.I. Joe Classified 60th Anniversary Action Soldier Infantry. Deep dive to see who did it better. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm just gonna say right off the bat that I win, no matter what, because I like these. You can see I like this infantry soldier so much that I've gotten 4, and I plan on getting more. So that shows you how much I actually like these. These things look great, okay, and they perform great. They look great. I love everything about these things for the most part. Okay, I'd love to troop build more of these because these look cool as heck to me. Okay, that's subjective. Um, Conversely, on the other side of things, I definitely want to build to get more of these because I really love them and they're GI Joe. These things are so fun to me. It doesn't, it, but these things have problems too. Oh, they all kind of have their ups and downs. But regardless of the problems that I've had with these, I still plan on getting more. So I still feel like I personally am, have won. Now, I there's some things I want to talk about before I continue. There's definitely recency bias. This is the new shiny toy, so a whole part of me is just feel refreshed and happy, and have, the honeymoon period has not quite ended with this toy yet, since I just got it 3 days ago. So I'm I'm feeling this. I've had more experience with this, so with this over here, and while it's, I was deeply in love with all these figures, right? This is what's, gotten my attention, the shiny new toy, right? So there goes the bias for that. There's a bias for that right now. I'm obsessed with these things, right now. But I was also just as obsessed. I had that same energy when I first picked up these things. As a matter of fact, of all the troop builders, I would have to say that Action Force did. This was my favorite, absolute gosh dang favorite of the troop builders, bar none. Next would be like the desert, and then after that the delta, and after that the urban, and then after that the stealth, and then riot being the last. um Stealth is cool because it's all black, but um yeah, there's just something about the colors, that make me, in these things that make me happy, right? So of course the aesthetics is very subjective. Some people will prefer this color pattern, which kind of replicates the combination of multicam slash ACU, the one, and it has these weird kind of deserty kind of boots. Um, well, they're not quite desert; they're kind of more on the grayish white. I don't know, beige tip. This is where I may have a little bit of an issue with this because I got, while these boots are cool, I'm not sure why, they went with this color, but I'm okay with it. It's, I would have much preferred a more darker beige, closer to the way I wore boots in the ACU, uniform back in the day than this. But I don't know. I think that was intentional. I'm thinking they weren't trying to go hyper accurate, just accurate enough. I don't know if there's some kind of thing that prevents them from doing this, so I don't know. Um, Here, my gripes with the boots is I would have much preferred that they used they use rock and rolls boots. I thought they could have done these instead, these kind of boots instead, but it's a minor gripe. Maybe they'll do these kind of boots for the Action Marine. Who knows? I don't know, but these boots, yeah, since I didn't, my personal bias is that since I wasn't wearing these boots in the army, it just seems odd to me. Okay. Yeah, I love the multicam pattern on this action force. I mean, action soldier infantry. I love it. This is just so. It just hits me now. This is army bias all day. This is some hua ish for me. You know what I mean? So I definitely love this. I had just missed out on this when I called it a day in my career. Okay, so I know this is not the infantry commandos. This is rock and rolls. But I just wanted, for testing purposes, I wanted to see if it would fit. And yeah, um, the other one is behind his. But yeah, um, so the boots and the multicam on here, I find more attractive right now than this. But again, like I said, recency bias. This is really shiny and new to me that I'm still enamored with it really badly. I love this again too, but right now this is just winning me with the recency bias, right? Okay. Another thing that we'll do in the accessory portion of things is, okay, we'll go with the pistols that it comes with. So pistol's cool. Um, I'm glad that he has it, and so does the commando. He has his own thing, and there's some kind of paint apps on it, right? This might be some kind of a Glock 9 mil. I'm not sure, and this I'm not sure either. But either way, it's a pistol, and they both have one, and it's cool. Now these guys have ammo uh, magazine holders. There's no magazine holders for, well, yeah, in no pouches that hold the magazines like these do. Now I'm not gonna lie, these are a little on the tight side, so it's kind of hard to get. But yeah, you can put it in, and it also comes with a bayonet that you can um, take off. That you can't. That so it's kind of cool and use. This does not have a knife of any sort, which is surprising. But hey, in the future, they can probably have accessory packs for these. Who knows, right? Um, this comes with its shemagh or scarf. They all got balaclava, on, so that's kind of cool. The shemagh is really cool, but in order for you to put it, you got to take the head off. And the good news is, just like these, you can both take the heads off, right? And they all come with. Let's see. Yeah, this guy comes with not quite a balaclava, but more like not balaclava, a shemagh, but more like I guess, a hood. So, so um, yeah. Either way, for me, it works for me. Both of these work for me. They have their own kind of thing going, right? Um, Now they also got packs over here. So to me, they work well. I can't tell you which one's better. To me, I'm just glad that they have them. You know, make them look high speed, right? Now this guy has a belt. This guy has a belt, but this guy's belt, rock and roll's belt, has canteen pouch and pouches, and of course the thing that holds the radio. These guys both have Molly vests, modular, uh, except this one actually has the new kind of style where you can put more stuff in. I think you could, if they do put weapons packs or whatever packs for these things, you can take them in and out. And that's what makes this probably more winning in that category. Because if depending on what they do with, the interchangeability of these things. Now, I got to admit, while this is a cool concept, the problem is sometimes these things fall off while I'm manipulating the weapons on these things. So it could be a little bit of an annoying part and you could lose it. So you sacrifice something while this is fixed and cannot move. You know what I mean? It's it at least, looks really good and sharp. Both of these look really good and sharp. And this guy's radio, while you can't remove it, is on the back portion of his vest. Now, the sucky part about this vest, because of this, is that you cannot put a backpack on this thing. This guy doesn't work because this is on the way. This, you can still put the backpack on, but you just have to remove this. Now, you could put any other backpack in, but the one that it comes with, while it looks good, because of this, it's kind of crappy because you can't really put nothing on here except for the stuff that, since it was originally designed for um, Outback, it would have his entrenching tool and his weapon to be able to go on this thing. None of these guys' weapons, which were originally Big Ben's, is going to fit on this pack. So yeah, it's kind of well, I guess it looks good. Kind of, it would look better if they just got rid of the things on the side, or they had actually something that could literally fit on it to make sense, like an entrenching tool and something else. But I don't know what they were thinking when they did this. Almost, yeah. But I do love the way the color looks when it's, when he's carrying that pack. It's just, yeah, the sideway, these side tabs are just kind of, uh, it's an eyesore when you can't do nothing with it, right? Unless you put an entrenching tool and I guess one other accessory that actually fits on this side too. So in a way, while it looks great, it's a win, but because of these, it's kind of an eyesore. So I don't, the eyesore is enough for me to like kind of wish that they just didn't do it at all, But that's me. Okay. So I'm glad that they have this Molly pack thing I mean, yeah, the hole here so you can put this in here. So it makes them look really cool and balanced too. Um, yeah. Now, both figures come with two heads, one white, one black. As you can see, you have that. Here, let me raise it up a little bit for y'all. And that. So, tie. The head, the head sculpts work. It's whatevs, right? It's a tie. Now, these guys have alternate hands. They're like, there's four hands in with the infantry action infantry soldier, one white, one black. But because of the full-on gloves on these things, there's six, and they have different, styles. Fist, closed fist, as well. You're about to see. Let me. The closed fist, trigger finger, regular trigger finger, open hand, and uh, holding hand without the trigger portion of stuff. So kind of like, these user have both trigger hands right now. I should have replaced these with just regular holding without the trigger fingers, but yeah. So in a way, these guys win because they have more hand options. You know, um, speaking of hands too, these are winning because they go up and down better than them. What do I mean? Well, let me demonstrate so you guys know, and I'm not smoking crack, right? So the hands on the infantry soldier can you can see go up and down, or infantry commander go up and down better. And it's kind of important because if you're trying to do more accurate, more accurate poses and stuff, this being able to go down helps big time. And that goes, and this is for pretty much every Valaverse male buck figure. These things can go down, down. Yeah, it helps to when they aim. Oh, sorry about that. We get to the Kevlar next, but yeah, it helps with the grip and the aim and being able to have that range of motion to go more realistic in approach, right? It's just kind of high speed like that. Do more. Right. Now let's look at this. Um, Unfortunately, while it does have that joint, it really just can't move at all. It's yeah. There's not even a little, not even a little bit. And this one, the good news is the swivel can, or not the swivel, the can go up and down on this, but this you really can't. And it becomes a little bit of a problem because I don't think that this weapon was designed really with this guy, in mind. And let me explain why. Because it can't go down when you do this. You see how the butt stock and that just kind of bend you up. So in a way, it's a blessing in disguise that these weapons are gummy, because had they been solid, we put so much tension on this thing that it probably snap. Okay. So yeah, it's just really, I don't know. While this weapon looks high speed, it's just very difficult to do accurate poses on this thing. It's just you can't do the sexy sniper pose on this thing because first and foremost, the one problem I have with this thing is that the grip on this the on this for this hand's not very good. Yeah, look, I'm just telling you right now. You can see it. It just won't commit the way I want it to. You know what I mean? It's just poorly designed grip. Okay, this is objective, not subjective. It's just not working optimally. Okay, here it works a lot better. It won't fall. This it will, and it's my biggest gripe out of the other, of everything when it comes to these figs. And I don't know if they will be able to make the fix for this without having to buy a whole fig. If they're gonna do separate hand packs, I don't know. It'd be cool if they did, but it would not be economic. I predict that it would not be economically viable for Hasbro to do such a thing. I think that people like Bobby Vella would make hand packs if it meant that it was improved, under these circumstances, right? These kind of, but it is what it is, right? So who wins the hand battle? Valaverse Action Force wins that round. Okay, now accessory count, however, that comes from the package. By the way, let's start with the price. The original MSRP for the Infantry Commando, when in its initial release back in 2022, was in the realm of $27.99 to $29.99. So for $30 back then, it came with rifle, 8 hands, uh, the Kevlar with Pelotor, possible, uh, uh, you could have either the Pelotors on or regular uh, uh, helmet covers, right? And nods, and a pistol and a rifle. That's it. There's 2 heads. But at the time, that was more than what GI Joe was doing back then. But they're upping their game. Kind of glad that what Bobby Valla kind of did out there inspired Hasbro to come up, in my opinion, with this. Because I love me some troop builders, and man, this is a glorious freaking looking troop builder. Just kind of subpar hands, not even mid hands, just subpar, in my opinion, right? Objectively speaking, as you can see, and it's up to you. If you guys can tolerate that, then cool, you win. But me, I got beef. I tolerate it enough, but you know, uh, they could do better. Now, it also comes with the stands. This is their Action Force stand that matches the color of theme of this product. It's a pretty good stand. Has 4 uh, tabs on the bottom. See, told you these hands just dropping. Just the grips are bad. See, you see that I just brushed by it and it fell. Didn't even get to talking about that. But yeah, it has 4 tabs, so it allows you to more space, volume, so you can do stuff to pose, for a stand. Real cool, right? I don't really care much for stands yet. I haven't had a reason to display it in such a manner yet. But this standard 2. I love the color though, but yeah, just you're pretty much stuck to just that and nothing and nothing more. Can't really do much. But again, since I don't use stands, it doesn't really make a difference for me. So it's not really a disqualifying factor. But I don't have a dog in that fight because I don't really use it. But objectively speaking, this has more options than the GI Joe one as far as stands go. Subjectively, it's up to you to tell that if you like the steel grit, the steel theme and the Action Force logo being big on this thing, just like the star on this thing. I don't know. Do you guys prefer plain with none of these things? Who knows? That's all up to you. But objectively speaking, these are a winning, more winning than this because it allows for more ways to pose and stuff. So by functional and options, this wins over this. Okay, and um, knee pads. Um, I don't know. This gray kind of is a little bit throwing me off, but and this one seems to be a better match for me, but that's pretty subjective. I don't know if you can really, you know, it's a, it's more preference. I prefer the way this looks on this than that on that, but the shape is kind of cool. I remember I used to rock fancy looking knee pads. All right, so as you can see, the gumminess of the weapon, but again, that's because look at the way the hands are and the arm. It's kind of really good that it's gummy, because if it wasn't, it would, the tension on this thing would probably snap this weapon if it was not a gummy kind. So in a way, it was a blessing in disguise that Hasbro did gummy, and you could always straighten it out with heat, So, whatever's. Um, yeah, the modular portion of things is cool. Got options plus the poncho. Diesel got no poncho, so for $5 more, which I picked this up at 35, and this because I was late to the game, I definitely paid more than the MSRP on these at the time. Roughly around Thanksgiving, I was able to get away with getting one of these for 45 and 50. And then, as I started to fall in love with the fig to get more, they raised the price to 60-ish, and I ended up, paying the late tax. So if you're trying to get this now, good luck. The going rate is way more than what it originally got out, so it might not be worth it, and it's not as accessible. So right now, this is more accessible. So in a way, again, recency bias, that can't, that's not what the toy is better than. It's just accessibility at the moment. This is winning. You can get this easier. Amazon everywhere. This on eBay and nowhere else really at this point. Mercari, your toy fairs, toy conventions, or you're not going to find this just anywhere. But to be fair, you can't just find Valaverse stuff anywhere other than like BBTS and uh, Entertainment Earth, as far as the places where toys are most bought. Now, of course, there's other smaller sites out there that get these things, but I won't know them all. I just know that a few of them do exist. Depending on where you're at, in Canada and other other places. Uh, I think Hella Dope Toys used to be one of those. Is one of those places I've never bought from them, because again, I was late to the game, missed out on stuff. All I know is that they do, but I'm sure all of the stuff that I want is all sold out because I'm again late to the game. Yeah, they got ponchos. These guys do not, and they got these hood options, which is kind of cool, And it's got dog tags, but do we really care about dog tags as an accessory? Maybe. See, dog tags, kind of cool. I put them on, just so it's kind of cool. Now, this weapon, so if it was just a regular M4 instead of a double-barreled one, would have made more sense to me. But so whatevs. The magazines do get out, and you can put it back in. And you can do, again, see how quick, how easy the weapon comes out of the hand. Just be careful, and you could do this, but I don't know, it's kind of delicate, so I wouldn't recommend it. I just keep it folded and just do the one hand thing, with this weapon. Yeah, because it's just, yeah, just be careful, because I don't want it to snap. This is kind of delicate, because the one for Big Ben, I know, it just keeps falling off every time I mess with it. Another thing that's awesome about the 60th versus the Infantry Commando, however, this is where they went, where 60th win more, just more accessories. But the thing is, how many 50 cals do you really need when you try to troop build? Personally, I just needed one and maybe two. One for a road to give to roadblock, and You know, unless you just want a whole bunch of 50 cal guys, you know, around. But you know, this is obnoxious. But it's kind of cool that you know they have it as an option. But man, it's a lot. You know what I mean? Each and every one of them got a 50 cal. This it's just bizarre. Okay, I guess this is for the people because Hasbro probably knew that there's probably somebody who just want one and they're okay. But I'm the troop builder kind of guy, and it's just obnoxious to have so many of those. And where would you place them all? You know what I mean? Unless you just sell them, if you're okay with selling, you know, mod deuces out there. You know, um, yeah. I know there's a long video. I promise you guys it's going to be in depth. You know, as in depth as I can. Right. Um, as far as posing and joints and all of that stuff goes, they're pretty much exactly the same. Um, only difference is you would have I would it would be fair to say that you're gonna want to use a heat gun or hot water on a Valaverse figure first before tempting fates because you might snap. I have not needed to do the same with this so far when I did stuff, but it does come kind of stiff, right? You're just gonna need to apply heat gun too if you want to be careful. But I don't think you know. But if you mess with this enough, I don't think you're gonna need to use a heat gun. Just still be don't be quick to herky jerky things around. You know, you just I don't tempt fates that way. Okay. Um, but so yeah, as far as the joints are concerned, I'd say that they're both equal. They all got swivels in the same spot, you know, all the kind of the same kind of articulation. Yeah, even especially even the head and neck. Right now, here is where things can get subjective. Right. So the helmet or Kevlar. The nods here are cool. No nods here, but I don't know if not everyone should have to have night vision goggles, you know, as an option. Just kind of, I don't know. And the you know, you can modularly put pelletors on instead of, so options are kind of cool. See the pellet, so you got, so again, I don't know if you like options and you like this look for the Kevlar, then cool. But personally, I'm quite happy with just the Kevlar on this, the gummy Kevlar. It's very cool, right? Um, I know that you're not supposed to leave these um, untucked in the army, but you know, they say you John Wayneing it, you know, because you're supposed to strap on your your Kevlar. Here, there's no straps at all, but you know, the way it's designed, right? So I don't know. I guess it's a tie because I enjoy this gummy helmet on this thing, and it's nice, you know, aesthetically pleasing to my eye. Just as this is too, but um, the problem with this for me is that if you lose this one of the sides, it's the helmet's toast since it doesn't have those kind of customizable things. This helmet is just this helmet, but if you lose the helmet, but you try not to lose them. But if you lose parts of this, you're like, oh, good luck trying to find, parts to replace if you lose it in small, So yeah, I think that the weapons on this thing, that they provide is the standard M4 rifle with suppressor and rail system, buttstock, and it's cool. It's a good standard issue, for weapon to have. So I like this a lot. this is ideal. It looks cool, but the problem is because the hands, I don't know if it was built for this. Might be a little too big, out of scale. You know, this looks more like it could be a 240 Bravo than a squad automatic weapon, and then a M250, which looks like the way it's designed. It looks almost like an M250, which is the current um, weapon being issued to the combat arms branch of the army, over to replace the M4 and any other weapons, SCAR and HKs. Yeah, just and this is not issued at all, so it's just kind of weird, but okay, um I'm not gonna complain, because again, I'm the type to buy third party weapons anyway. So as you guys can see, I've always demoed, you know third party 3D printed accessories. So I'm you know I'm okay with, but I love the colors on these things. At least these things match the the aesthetic colors of the soldier. So it's a win. While well, this also matches the color theme of the Infantry Commando, so it's a win too, right? So I don't know, guys. Um, for $35 versus $60 now, and this seems to be the more economic choice right now if you're gonna do that. But if money was an issue, these things are, all things being equal, as far as uh, it's assuming that they both came out the same exact time. Um, $5 less without all the stuff that these guys have. I think it's, you know, I guess the price is negligible, really, if you think about a $5 difference. Um, may seem like a lot, but this does come with hella more accessories. The problem is, do you care enough about the accessories, like this backpack? And maybe it's cool to have this one show up one time, but man, all the time, they should come up with a. I wish that they did a troop builder one that didn't have to, that was, you could get for less, that didn't have all these things, just the standard stuff. But again, it was probably not economical for Hasbro to do that. They don't, while Valaverse tends to do the plain buck, and then you'd have to buy, you have the option to buy the accessory pack and upgrade kit and do whatever you want once, you could choose to do that upgrade kit or not, right? Now, um, all in all, um, the size, the the action force is slightly bigger than the GI Joe, but it's you know uh how do I say this? A lot of third parties do not have Valaverse in mind when they're creating stuff. More GI Joe than this. So, as far as getting third party accessories are concerned, sometimes though I would have to say that the win will go towards the GI Joe side of the house, because it's more common. These third party people will make more for things that are made more of, and there's more chance of these than this, because people know GI Joe more than Valaverse. So even though, they won't make things fitted for these as much as it is for these. Just personal experience. Not saying that it makes this figure worse. Just the options for third party people tend to flow with where the money is, and this is more common than this. Now, to be fair, Valaverse fans are very diehard, so dedicated bunch. So very generous bunch too, as far as spending. So yeah, when I see them go to the cons, a lot of them just go straight up to their booth and go, I want one of each of everything, So anyways, yeah. No, some people don't cherry pick, they just get everything that they offer. Okay, now let's go to the package, the toy in package. This is bigger, looks and presents well, clear, nice and clear, and the package is really cool pictures and stuff. The back, um, the only problem is it does take up a lot of space. So if you're trying to present this package, yeah, it's a you see what I'm saying? Now, it's my problem with this is that it has a tendency to fall a lot. So maybe when I get a protector for this, it probably won't fall as much, but I don't know. I'd have to get a protector first so I could show, right? Like this, I got a protector for these. Went to eBay. Package looks cool. It actually has action points, and these action points are functional. So in a way, this package wins just on action points. I could use these action points to redeem to get whatever exclusive that Valaverse is going to have. So yeah, so cool. I don't know. You let me know what you guys think. I think this looks good. You know, save space compared to this, but I like the way this presents. It's in my face, looks good, and yeah, it's a win again. But the only problem is if I'm troop building, this takes up a lot of gosh dang space. This one not as much, but you know a little bit can be for storage goes a long way versus big, right? So yeah, I don't know. So it's up to y'all. This does not have a command file. This but this does. Most people probably don't care, but at least it does have one, right? This one does not, because there is no story. I guess there is no story for them. Just everybody knows that they're army and they're Hua, right? But yeah, final thoughts on all of this. Um, who wins between the two? I win. But who would I pick between the two? Um, like if I was only allowed to have one and not, like choose between one, and I won't be able to, pick up anything else, right? Ooh, that's tough. This is probably the hardest question. Gun to my head, who would I pick between the two? I'd have to go with this, only because it's more army accurate. Had these guys had the same exact pattern, camo pattern, I might have a different. I might have a different choice, but it's subjective, right? This pattern of uh, uh, multicam just does it for me in such a way that it's enough for me to choose this over that. Bad hands and all, because I don't know. The third party out there would have found a way to make better hands, and I would have gladly paid the money to get better hands, and again, third party accessories to make it happen. But gun to my head, I would have to take this because again, it's just very, as an army guy, this is this just, hits harder in a way, but barely, because I love these figs. I absolutely love them. Um, but yeah, one of the I'm hoping that in the future that the heads that they use can be used on any other, like they make use in the universal ball head joints moving forward for GI Joe. I know that Valaverse does, but this they don't. I don't know what they're doing with these things. They should have done that a long time ago, so I could, if I wanted to, I could change heads, so to give different looks and thing for the infantry commando, so that not all of them have to wear balaclava heads. You know what I mean? Like action force, yeah. So yeah, if I had to choose one, sadly, not even sadly, but I would choose this because, again, it just, the color pattern right now hits hard, and being an official GI Joe, seeing that in army, hits a certain way too. So yeah, that, gun to my head, this is what I would choose. And despite me being a rebel and loving to collect the Valaverse because I love the way Bobby operates when all is said and done, maybe because of nostalgia and the arm, me being in the army, this is what wins. Okay. Not everybody will agree. A lot of people say, the quality of these are hecka better, but um no, I think that in this specific case, Hasbro did well enough with the quality, with the exception of these gosh dang hands. Just saying, these hands are irritating. Overall, I'm willing to work with this if I had to choose one, and of course, this would be a very sad loss for me. Like I would probably like Adam Sandler in Big, in uh I forgot what movie it was, but when he was a Big Daddy thing, but I don't want to go. I know. I'd be super sad. I don't want to, with gun to my head. Yeah, this. Yeah, it was hard to choose because I'm looking just back and forth and how excited I was when I first got this. But looking at the camo pattern, it goes a long gosh dang, the multicam pattern goes a long way with me on this. All right, folks, that is all I got for this segment of 112 scale military action figure takes, the versus edition of Action Force Infantry Commando and G.I. Joe Classified as 60th Anniversary Action Soldier Edition. I'm your host, Coco Smooth, the Casual Collector. And until the next video, folks, ciao.